Combines are beginning to roll across the Buckeye State. Bill Mullen is Director of Agronomic Services with Seed Consultants. He talks about some things to look for in the field this time of year.
Some of these issues started last spring and they carried all the way over to harvest time. And some of these issues, we really need to be out in our fields. And as soon as we're getting close to that 25-26% moisture, folks, we need to be showing. The stalk quality is below average. Any more heavy winds, rains, is going to put this crop on the ground. So the first one here to talk about, just showing this is an earlier corn. Was in the field yesterday. As you can see here, we're seeing a lot more darkened area down here on the crown. It's really more of a crown rot from some early growing conditions. And this crown rot basically went ahead and added to the problems of the poor stalk quality in it all the way up the plant. We split the stalk in that, but here is the bottom line, is this here right here. Right? It was poor in the beginning, and then when we harvested in that, we don't have a good harvestable ear to begin with. However, when we get to with no crown rot, a lot whiter. The pith inside is a lot healthier on the stalk, okay? Took the stress a lot better, but more importantly is the ear size that came with it. So this is one issue that we're experiencing this year. Started early, affected the crown, but affected that plant all the way up to harvest time as far as ear development. With this ear here, we were able to hold on to the plant. The shank developed real well. This plant here, this ear fell off. It was a real small ear shank and pretty much just dried up, fell to the ground in that. So these are things there from Mother Nature. Right after planting, we had this issue with some moisture there that affected our crowns. Okay, I want to go to here and look at two plants that came out of the same row. And just going to point out here is our roots. As you can see, we do have the compaction. We even see the layers or so in here of the compaction. No, the roots are good. Our root development didn't go deep. All right, didn't go deep here. Now, with that said, still we have some plant health. Had some rains down in here, kept the plant healthy, and their ear size is normal. I talked to the customer and I showed him to that, and I said, what if we didn't have this compaction? And I said, what do you think the yields could be? And he said they probably would be a lot better. And that's the way it is. Compaction is yield robber. All right, you need to keep that in mind. Farther down the row, I went ahead to another plant. Same thing. A little bit better on the roots coming up, but again, these are compacted roots. No root development, getting some anthracnose spores here on the stalk, but again, we're impacting the root development early on. Plant kept its health, and that's the way it is, right? But it went ahead and put out a nice size ear. This plant here was a little bit more under stress type conditions. And just to show you two ears, but before that, you need to look at these roots. Same hybrid, same row, a little bit farther up than the two previous ones, but as you can see, very poor root development. The other thing is when you look at this, our root development is pretty much in line, right in with that furrow. The roots never really reached out on both sides and developed in that, pretty much all stayed in that line. This compaction here is more sidewall compaction. So, and then the bottom line is a lot worse plant. There is nothing left of this stalk. Okay, as you can see, there's no health to it in that. But the bottom line here is, this is the ear put up. A lot smaller ear. Filled out, but it just couldn't take the stresses of the season. Compared to the same hybrid with a little better roots, a lot better plant health, it took the stress much better. We have more yield out of this ears like this compared to ears like this. Test weight will be better here as well compared to this one. So all in all, we've always talked about compaction being a yield robber, and it is. We have yields out there, and we know our yields are going to vary depending on the soil type and the growing conditions we had, okay? But with these issues out there, be it insect, be it the stalk quality, be it the poor ear shank development, all three of these basically are saying to us that they need to be harvested as soon as we can. For us to go ahead and try to maximize for the best price possible with lower discounts, it always is better for us to get in the bin early than to wait later on and try to think how we're going to get that corn off the ground without any problems in that. So if anything I can say to you right now is the corn is out there. In some places you're going to have very good yields above 200. There's going to be some yields there we're in that 160 to 170 bushel on that. So it didn't make any difference. We just need to get the crop off as soon as we can.